Welcome to the Willow Creek online training program. Today's module is entitled What to Do During an Earthquake. So we've discussed what to do before the earthquake to prepare for the earthquake. Now we're actually experiencing the earthquake. What do we need to do? And we've talked about a little bit of this already, so some of this will be a review. So the purpose of this module is to discuss what to do during an earthquake. The material in this module is taken directly from the Red Cross's Earthquake Safety Checklist. And you can download that from the website, by the way, so feel free to do that. It's a great checklist. The Red Cross organization gave us permission to use this information for this training. What should I do during an earthquake? That's a good question. Well, it depends on where you're at. Are you inside, outside, in a car? We'll cover all those different scenarios. But if you're inside, do the following. First, drop, cover, and hold on. Remember, we talked about that earlier. There it is. Drop, cover, and hold on. Make sure this, whatever furniture you're getting under is very sturdy, very strong. Otherwise, it builds up and it can collapse on you, and that's not a good thing. So there it is. Drop, cover, and hold on, and move as little as possible. Just hang on. It'll eventually end. What should I do during an earthquake? Again, if you're inside, if you're in bed, stay there. Curl up and hold on. Protect your head with a pillow. There they are right there protecting themselves. There's a gentleman under some furniture there. Hopefully that's strong enough. That always concerns me a bit. Stay away from windows to avoid being injured by shattered glass. Whenever you have an earthquake, a significant earthquake, you'll see shattered glass. And there's a whole bunch of it right there. And like I said earlier, the front of my house has a lot of glass, so that front room, I'm going to run from that. It would be a disaster. Stay indoors until the shaking stops. That's important. Stay inside until the shaking stops, and you are sure it is safe to exit. If not, you run outside, and it's kind of dangerous because on the outside of buildings, a lot of times all the brick and everything else come falling down. If you see pictures of earthquakes, a lot of times along the sidewalk and stuff, and the cars parked on the curb, they're all smashed up and everything. That's a good indication you don't want to be out there, right? So stay inside until it's safe to get out. If you must leave the building after the shaking stops, use stairs rather than an elevator in case there are aftershocks, power outages, or other damage. The problem is people have gotten in those elevators during an earthquake, goes down, bang. There's something wrong with it. It gets stuck there, and you're stuck there with it. You don't want that to happen. Bad things can happen in an elevator during an earthquake. So you'll see in a lot of buildings, they'll say notice in case of fire, use stairway or exit. And no elevator, yes to stairs. There you go. Be aware, you just need to be aware of this, that fire alarms and sprinkler systems frequently go off in buildings during an earthquake, even if there's no fire. So we're just telling you that, so when you see them go off, you don't think, oh no, there's a fire also. There could be, but usually that's not the case. It's just earthquakes will set these things off. So be aware of that. It's always good to know what your environment's going to do around you so you can kind of feel a little more secure about the whole thing. You don't want a lot of surprises. Now, let's say you're outside. What if an earthquake happens and we're outside? Well, first of all, find a clear spot to drop to the ground. Okay? You don't want to stand up because the earthquake will make you fall, and that's only going to hurt you more. Stay clear of buildings, power lines, trees, and street lights. That's what gets you in trouble. That's what kills people during an earthquake more often than not. Oftentimes it's man-made structures, so try to stay away from them if you're outside. Of course, trees, you have to be aware of those also. And so I threw this picture in. These ladies fortunately got far enough away from the structure that they didn't get hurt. So that's a victory for them, good for them. Stay there until the shaking stops. A lot of people get scared and their first instinct is flight, right? Adrenaline and take off. But in an earthquake, get in a safe spot and just stay there and ride it out. Now, if you're in a vehicle, you're outside and you're in a vehicle, Pull over to a clear location and stop. Avoid bridges, overpasses, and power lines if possible. And that's why, because those things can collapse in an earthquake, and oftentimes do. Stay inside your car with your seatbelt fastened until the shaking stops. Usually, if you're already in a car, just stay there and ride it out. And then when the shaking stops, then, and only then, drive carefully, avoiding bridges and ramps that may have been damaged, such as the one shown here. There can be a lot of infrastructure damage after an earthquake, so just because it stops shaking doesn't mean the danger is over. It may be just beginning. So be aware of that. If power lines fall on your vehicle, so you're still in your vehicle here, if power lines fall on your vehicle, do not get out. Because there's live wires all over the place, and you may get out and just touch the car and it'll burn you up. So stay in your vehicle, do not get out, wait for assistance. Call for help. Now, if you're in a mountainous area or near unstable slopes or cliffs, be alert for falling rocks and other debris. If you have some steep locations, that's where you can get landslides. Remember, we talked about that. I have a couple pictures there, and look, it kind of buried the cars also. So those can be very dangerous. And so if you're driving along, if you can help it, don't try not to stop at the landslides. I know that's hard, but even if you do, at least get over to the other side of the road. As you can see, the further out these cars were, the better off they were. All right, congratulations, you have almost completed this module. However, remember, you still need to complete that module exam. Congratulations, you have completed this module. Remember to always think ahead, be prepared, be safe, and you've got it, be happy. Have a great day. Goodbye.